بل يقولوا عن حجابي لا وربي لن أبالي بل يقولوا عن حجابي أنه يفني شبابي وليغالوا في عتابي إن للدين انتسابي لا وربي لن أبالي همتي مثل الجبال أي معنى للجمال إن غدا سل المنام.
I think that wearing a hijab is an obligation from God, so that's the only reason that I wear it.
It's a symbol of who I am.
Hijab is something that's liberating for women, and it's something that I should treasure and love. So.
For me, it was a form of liberation. To look at it from a spiritual side, you can say it was something that was a sacrifice to God.
We wear the hijab as it's part of our religion.
Well, it was basically out of choice and just to fulfill like religion, part of modesty.
I wear the hijab because first and foremost it is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a divine command and one that cannot be disputed.
Well, I'm very concerned about what I believe is the oppression of Muslim women.
It is not a religious garb, and there's plenty of Muslim scholars that say this. It is a cultural garb. Now, when people come to Australia, or whether they're born in Australia, we have a culture. It is a meshing or a merging of many cultures, but it becomes uniquely Australian. And a key part of that is the fact that we can identify each other. We now have a situation, and this is a personal view, where people who can walk into a bank or any other secure area in a burqa and remain unquestioned about it. I think it shuts people off from society. I think it sets different rules for different people.
Really, what I think about calls to ban the niqab personally is that it's nothing more than a veiled attack on Islam itself. The niqab is undoubtedly a symbol of Islam as much as the crescent star, as much as anything else, as much as a brother wearing a long sunnah dress or whatever else. And the niqab is a symbol of Islam, and that's why there's a problem with it. There's no problem because it actually covers someone's face. That's not an issue. The issue is the fact that it represents an idea that is opposing and contrary to secular liberal values, and obviously in a secular liberal society they don't want that.
The number of women wearing the burqa represents a fraction of 1% of the population. Yet President Nicolas Sarkozy gave them special attention during his historic State of the Nation address.
Nous ne pouvons pas accepter dans notre pays des femmes prisonnières derrière un grillage, coupées de toute vie sociale, privées de toute identité. Ce n'est pas l'idée que la République française se fait de la dignité de la femme. La religion
He
musulmane.
used the occasion to deliver this declaration.
Le problème de la burqa n'est pas un problème religieux. C'est un problème de liberté, c'est un problème de dignité de la femme. La burqa ne sera pas le bienvenu sur le territoire de la République française.
They can say now it's the niqab, next they'll say it's our hijab, next they'll say it's our abayah.
No to the burqa and no to the niqab. In the town of Varallo in the north of Italy, the local mayor has taken the issue of women who wear Islamic face veils into his own hands. Though no national law forbids it, a bylaw here means offenders would be hit with a €500 fine. All this in spite of the fact that in the town of 8,000, no one actually wears the face veil.
Well, the draft bill was voted in Parliament today and actually has won support from all of the country's major political parties, including the ruling centre-right and the socialists, whether they were Dutch or French-speaking. Now, the ban will extend to all public places, so not just schools or public administrations, but also on when it's worn on the sidewalk, in public parks and sports fields, etc.
I'll be honest, because at the end of the day it's part of Islam, it's part of our deen, we still short, even though I say that you have to wear a niqab, but if we still short, I'll say my deen short.
It would be the strictest anti-burqa law yet. Belgium is on the way to banning full-cover Islamic veils in public. After a parliamentary committee unanimously okayed the proposed legislation, the only hurdle remaining is a vote by MPs.
I think all the coalition parties are very much in favor of banning the burqa in Belgium's public spaces.
Cunit, a small, peaceful town on the coast of Catalonia, eastern Spain. There's a large Muslim population here, many of them Moroccan workers who came to work in the Spanish building sector. In the town, some women wear the headscarf, but only one wears a full Islamic head veil, the burqa. Nevertheless, Cunit is one of the towns in Catalonia where the full veil has just been banned.
I definitely think that it is part of a greater agenda, and the way that we can see it is part of a greater agenda is high-profile figures or known ministers that have spoken out about the niqab. They haven't been able to justify their arguments in a logical sense, which tells me that there is an ulterior motive. Otherwise, how did they become ministers of parliament?
This is actually a cultural statement. It's not a religious statement. This is a cultural choice to wear this. Now, cultural melting pot Australia. In Australia there is one culture, that is the Australian culture. We're allowing the fragmentation of other cultures and it's not working. And this is evidence that it's not working. Not the hold up, not the burqa, but the fact that women are walking around in this climate wearing this kind of clothing and being repressed in this fashion is not an Australian value and not an Australian culture.
The Reverend knows he has an uphill battle. He's tabled this bill in Parliament, and if passed, it would stop anyone from covering their face in public. Most importantly, it would be against the law for Muslim women to wear the niqab or the burqa.
But I do think it goes a lot deeper than the way the media and the politicians portray it. Essentially, I think the niqab debate, the ban of the niqab, or the ban of the minarets, or the hijab, or whatever it may be related to Islam, is essentially an attack on Islam itself, and not just an attack on the niqab.
This issue of banning the niqab in Belgium is just another attack on Islam. And whether it be depicting our beloved Nabi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in cartoons, or whether it be attacking and invading our land, we can see that the attack on the Muslim woman's dress is just part of the wider plan. But I have a message today for the European leaders. I have a message, a warning if you like, to them. Firstly, they will never ever succeed in their plan. They will never ever be able to destroy Islam.
We're here today to give our sisters a message of support. Our sisters that are sitting in front of us, our sisters in our community, in our local community, and our sisters in our international community. We give support to the sisters that wear niqab, and the sisters that wear hijab. And the community is with you, inshallah. Allahu Akbar.
You may say, however, that you are only referring to the very small number of Muslim women that veil their faces. So why are we generalizing, taking it all on personally? We say very clearly and for the record that we make no distinction between the hijab and the niqab. We make no distinction between the jilbab and the salah. We make no distinction between any ruling in Islam that is derived from the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
My brothers and sisters, and to everyone listening to me today, we are Muslims, and we are proud to be Muslims. We are proud of the Lord that we worship Allah, and we are proud of the Prophet that we follow Muhammad, and we are proud of the religion that we adhere to Islam, and we are proud of the book that we read Quran, and we are proud of this nation, the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Takbir! The question is why? Why the attack on the hijab? Why the attack on the niqab? Why the attack on our masajid? Why the attack on our sisters? Why the attack on our brothers? The question is why? Well, let's answer this question in unequivocal terms. The greatness of the Muslims lies in their Islam and their Islam alone. Takbir!
And I feel empowered by the fact that I can move freely throughout society without being subjected to the eyes of every Tom, Dick and Harry, and without being judged at face value, but rather for who I am. So we can see that this talk of niqab has far-reaching consequences that affect every Muslim, whether they wear the niqab or not. It proves to us that the discussion is not revolving around a mere piece of cloth.
it is what this piece of cloth represents.